LFG.
GM. Welcome
GM,
to the
GM.
room, the chat room.
It's a room where we chat.
Yeah, we sit in a room and we chat. And we got our little friend Mark back there looking at us. All creepy.
He's trying to steal your JPEGs. Don't let him.
He's a hater. So we actually did a test run and we had it all good to go and we thought we did a decent job, but obviously we did not do a decent job because that episode no longer exists. So we are here to start fresh. This is our fresh start.
We forgot to hit the record button. And there may be some technical difficulties along the way, so bear with us. As they say in Web3, we are still early.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw my tweet this morning, but I finally used I answered the question why everyone uses GM, and you just answered it right there, being early.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. It has to do with sun cycles.
Yeah, if you're watching this in 2024 or later, you'll probably be saying GA or GN.
Good night to the crypto boom. Which, speaking of, so here we are broadcasting from the bear.
And it is a bear indeed. It's a lot of it's gotten really slow. So now's the time, as they say, to build and to just stay active and to explore.
Yeah, it's a really good time to kind of test things out, break some stuff. Like right now, we're you're probably watching from the future because our live audience currently.
Looks like I lost you again. So, yeah, we had some technical difficulties on this before with the audio. So it's, a learning process. Right now, yeah, so I think today our main focus was we wanted to kind of talk about some different metaverses and kind of use that hype and go into some different levels. Oh, I hear you.
I'm back, baby.
Oh,
As
God.
you would say.
I was running out of things to talk about. I was about to call the show early.
What was great was both of our people were talking through your voice because it was picking that up. So, on the topic of being early, this is you want to introduce our little avatars, which is our first topic is avatars, the metaverse and beyond.
Well, let's talk about our avatars real quick because we put a lot of work into these, and I
Exactly.
think they're hilarious. Yeah, so we rigged up. I rigged up one of my NFTs, probably my favorite NFT that I have, just to get the mouth moving. And Weary took it a step further with the camera actions, so he can blob around over there.
Yeah, this is not actually an NFT. This is so speaking of trying things that might not necessarily work out, this is like a little avatar mascot that I have from 10 years ago. The angry Luddite instead of the weary one. So he's kind of grumpy about technology, which again fits the theme. But yeah, it's this I just dug this out of like some files and started adding some eyes and mouth stuff, and technology was like, here's a moving thing that does stuff. It's pretty wild, the tech these days.
And I think too, what was we put a lot of work into getting those ready because last week when we did it, I'm kind of glad that test run didn't make it because
Right.
we were just like little boxed images and we were trying it out to see with all the chords. I got my chords kind of organized now too. Last week I was tripping over them.
Yeah, there's that's the thing is like we're probably gonna hone this and optimize it a bit and try some different things, put some little trophies on our shelf in the background there, so this will be an evolving experience, but these are our avatars for now in the chat room, in the room in which we chat
Yeah,
about
so
things.
give us a little, just a give me a 30-second pitch on the Weary Luddite.
All right. So, well, the Angry Luddite was the old website that I had, and I was trying to launch a digital zine, um, and I thought it was funny for some reason because it was, like the zines were like typically like printed out, handed out physically, and we were trying to do that, but on the web. And so our mascot was this dude that was grumpy about the advance of technology, and it kind of fits because these days technology, people are really kind of bringing back the Luddites, which were people that opposed like the industrial revolutions, like advance of technology, so that was taking jobs and stuff. So it's kind of coming full circle in a lot of weird ways I never really imagined.
And we're seeing a lot of that now, like gamers, people in general, like just seeing the JPEG and associating it with the board ape. I think that's probably more what people see is someone buying a board ape for a couple $1 million and just like
Yeah,
baffled that that even happened, but not understanding the technology and like what it means and
it's just a
how
JPEG, bro.
at the end of the day it is, but it's on the blockchain, so it makes it, and and it's during that time too where everything's kind of gonna pop up and then it's gonna level out and there'll actually be use cases, and people get caught up in that hype. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you and I can both speak from experience of getting burnt. Like, so there are a lot of scams out there, and there's a lot of like junk that gets promoted. But to just throw the baby out with the bathwater, you'd be missing on some really amazing like technological advancements that are happening right now. So that's kind of what we want to highlight is just interesting things happening in the space in metaverses and other elements of what they're calling Web 3. So we don't just kind of get lost in the general shuffle of it's all a scam, because that's there are scams, but they're not all scams. That makes sense.
but that's life, baby. That's what I always say. Life's a
That's
scam.
life,
You
baby.
just gotta keep going, keep moving forward, one foot in front of the other.
Wake up, spit blood, smile. That's my motto these days.
So yeah, and two, like I know, I'll go ahead and give a brief input on me too. Yeah, I'm Donye.
This the Donye.
I just I don't know. I just want to build communities and like bring people together on a common cause and show people the fun. Like obviously I love art, but at the same time, my emphasis has been mainly on just doing things and getting people together and giving them experiences to where they can actually experience things instead of just sitting at Twitter and you know GM, like, retweet, post, give them a little bit, give them something to do. So I know, I don't, were you with us on the frame games on Wednesday night where we had a,
I caught part of it, so that was the latest one, right?
yeah, we all went into spatial and I built a gallery out for Mike
Yeah,
Neff and his recent drop. So
I thought that was a cool pivot. So I wasn't able to like be there for the actual sort of hide and seek or like hidden object thing that you had there. So we can talk through that. But I thought it was a cool pivot where you're like, I thought this week would sort of be like, hey, so this is someone who's releasing something cool. We're going to highlight it, and you built like an interactive experience about that. So it's more than just like a Twitter Spaces. It was like come in and hang out with us in a metaverse while we discuss your new project and art that you're releasing.
yeah, I think there was very little discussion on the project itself, but everyone there I think was already a part of it, and it was more like Mike had just been working tirelessly for months. I don't know his whole timetable, but I pretty much blackmailed him into hopping in there, and but it's like I provided him with a gallery that he can use still. People can go in and view it. People were able to come in and view it there, and see the artwork and see that it was more than just the new drop and see like what led him to where he's at now. And I look forward to seeing kind of like where he goes with that. But I think it just turned into a sandwich party. If I threw on the VR headset and discovered a selfie stick, so if If you
Nice.
saw it on Twitter, there's a lot of selfies with people eating sandwiches and creepy
Amazing.
poets.
I'm gonna have to go back and check that out because I definitely missed that. I've been sort of on a tweeter diet lately, kind of keeping my head down because it's so easy to, I think that's another important thing about kind of what we've been talking about doing is we're
We just lost you again. I'm gonna bring up. Oh, there I am. That's the loading animation. I'm gonna bring up some images from that real quick. I need the guy, the like Joe Rogan has, Jamie. Go pull it up real quick for me, Jamie.
all right. Sorry guys, I'm back. I bought too many JPEGs and now I can't afford to buy a new headset, which I really need to do apparently. But yeah, let's just say this. There's so much information overload these days, right? Like I actually had to like keep myself off of Twitter a bit because I used to like get so caught up just trying to stay on top of all the news and everything happening. Um, and you just kind of get stuck in this sort of like feedback loop of the same things, the same cycles, right? And you don't really get exposed to like new, interesting things happening because it's just like even trying to keep up on your own bubbles is so difficult these days. So, what we're kind of trying to do is break some bubbles and explore some new things and have fun at the same time. I do love that you sort of took that aspect with Mike's sort of gallery. It's like focusing on the fun. That's what you do with the frame games, right? Like fostering a sense of community, I guess. But one thing that I don't want to lose that I think is really important about what you said is, so that gallery that you made, that doesn't go away. So you've now built like a space that's curated for his art that he can bring other people to like, hang out. So I think it's one of the most interesting things about this metaverse era is that you can create persistent assets for the most part. I mean, there's a conversation about Windows like if the server or service goes down or whatever. But basically you're creating these like experiences and spaces that people can discover on their own in the future and revisit in different ways and reuse and change. So I think that's one of the most exciting things for me about this current technology that is all around us.
Yeah, it's similar to kind of like what Mintface does with having people walk through, but without the constraints of it being it's focused on one person, but it's more just celebrating them and
Mm-hmm.
like we're all on here and we all live all over the world, so it's great to be able to all be in one spot and kind of just goof off.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, it's been a pretty strange decade in particular, right? A lot of gloomy things happening, and I've found kind of like personal solace myself in just hanging out with my online friends and the various digital spaces, and it's taken another level to actually be able to build like crazy things that you see in your head and then be like, let's walk around this and hang out here. It's I don't know, it's exciting, but it's definitely to joke about the GM and earliness. It is still early on the tech side very much, so a lot of it's still very rough. So I think a lot of people kind of see these things that are like, oh, that's not polished. So like, it doesn't have the budget of like a, you know, however many millions to throw at the latest like AAA games, because like it's often just small groups of people working on these new tech and like, so I think people get a bad impression that way, which I don't think is the best way to look at it.
Well, it's like you and I both like this is having the online community and having online friends and like getting together and playing games. Like we're both come from a past of gaming, so
Mm-hmm.
not hardcore, but casual. And like I live on the
I,
opposite
I was
side of the
pretty nerdy.
country as my family, so it's like always been something with like friends too to like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, let's hang out, let's play Grand Theft Auto, let's go play Call of Duty, Rocket League, like so. It's just funny that
Exactly.
a lot of gamers hate it, but at the same
Yeah, I
time,
think it's just technology. That's every adoption curve, right? People, I think, are hardwired to fear what they don't understand, especially if it's confusing. And then it's like, there's a lot of like interests that are, you know, counter to this new tech emerging and doing well. So there's like, a lot of people just blasting articles on like why everything's a scam. I actually stopped reading gaming news last year from like favorite outlets I'd followed for 10 years because it's like this is basically just saying the same thing. Every single article on this new technology, it's not adding anything, it's just blasting it as like this, it like if you don't like it, then don't report on it, or don't like, I mean, go build something else that you like better. I don't know. I think there's a lot of energy put into destructive things when it could just be like, well, just ignore it then. It'll be here like in 5 years once it's all polished up and ready for mass adoption.
It's a
But
lot easier to type and press enter and just be a troll than it is to actually do something that you want to
so true.
see. Or, even if you like something, it's still fun to troll. I don't know why
Yep.
it's so fun. I'm guilty of it. I love trolling, but that's why I play Call of Duty. That's when I like shoot people and just
Your inner 12-year-old come out.
yeah, and I'm under certain constraints. I'm not
Of course, of
I'm not
course.
being the 12-year-old, but
Right.
just talking shit, having or
Yeah,
talking.
it can be fun. We've all got like human nature to let out. It's just interesting how like aggro and focused that the narrative was, at least for a long time. I don't know. I mean, because I kind of completely disconnected from the outside spheres. I'm pretty much living in the metaverse right now, which is I don't know. Basically, what I've done though, like that's the funny thing is we're talking about video games, right? And like I'm a super nerd. Like I grew up playing pretty much video games every second that I could, and played a lot of MMOs pretty hardcore. And like MMOs really were kind of like the original metaverse. It's just the difference is that anyone can build these kind of things now, and also like theoretically, eventually you'll be able to take things from one thing to the next. But that's not happening anytime soon. It's not happening right now. So don't think you can like go buy like a rad sword in the game and use it somewhere else, because that doesn't work. It doesn't happen. It's not a thing. Maybe one day though.
Well, what I always say is right now it's popular to hate NFTs and to hate crypto and to hate you know just that whole Web3 experience because that's the cool thing to do. But one day that's going to change and it's going to be cool to like NFTs. So and then we'll be the hipsters that were here
Yeah,
like, oh, we liked it before it was cool. So
yeah.
there will be
I
a
love.
cycle.
Yeah, oh yeah. They're always. I mean, because the thing is just like it's been in like every adoption curve. I mean, it's really funny. You can go back, and I think this has been pointed to a lot by people in the space because it is so uh, like just it kind of says it all. Like there's a video of Letterman and Bill Gates talking to the internet, and Letterman's like, why do I need this internet thing? I can like get my newspaper to read about things. I can like put a letter in the mail. And so just in retrospect, it's you look at that and it's like, well, it did end up being a bit more than that. It's just that I think that's one of the biggest things is it's the underlying technology and all these different use cases and applications we haven't thought of yet. To use an example that the youngins might get, your girlfriend was watching Dancing with the Stars, or that, and there's like that TikTok girl that's really popular. What is it, Charlie D'Amelio or whatever? Millions of followers, and
We lost you again. So yeah, the technology's here now, um, and the tools are here. It's a lot easier to create things and do things that weren't able to be done. Like when I was 12 years old, I was tech savvy, but I didn't have the tools I have now to do that. So obviously, a 12-year-old kid is going to be learning things right now and creating and building out the next world that we're all going to be in. And I
yep,
think too, one thing is that a lot of people in this space that see the value for what it is, they don't have a past in gaming or being in a online community or guild. They come in from the financial aspect of it, being in crypto, and then they get into NFTs, and now they see this and they, oh my God, this is game changing. But it's something that's been around for the last 20, 30 years. They just haven't, they weren't gamers. They weren't on the message boards or the forums or the chat rooms.
Chat room.
I had to throw that in
Um,
there.
it's gonna be a recurring theme, folks. And I'm gonna fix my stupid audio issues one of these days. Don't worry. But yeah, just to that point, it's like she was telling the camera crew, like we would not be here on this reality television show making how much insane amounts of money were it not for TikTok. So someone made an app, and then apps like the technology essentially creates culture at this point, right? So what is going to be the next TikTok? What is going to be the next like Web3, like sort of device or platform or technology that's going to create the culture stars of the next era? Which I'm not a fan of reality TV. I actually abhor it, but I'm already thinking up interesting ways of like how that could be applied. It's just technology forms what we are, and
I,
that's culture. So
I think there's a way to create, a consumer experience for the watcher at home to like be able to interact in some way or another and have it. There's already ways, but I think, using this technology to where it's validated, it's not just a whole bunch of people texting in a number, like you can actually see the change or doing stuff through a visual platform of like
yeah.
voting with NFTs or
Oh yeah. There's just so many different ways that they're going to be used. It's going to be interesting, and I think there's a huge opportunity for expansive media experiences, right? Um, we're sort of testing that out right now with the visual layer, and there's just so many different ways you can expand on it, and that other people are going to with you know different polished and gamified approaches. So I mean, I'm excited to see what comes next. We're going to kind of start going through some different current applications. It might be a little rough, it might be a little clunky, but what's the concept behind things is often what I find the most interesting, right? The what it could be, which is also how people often make sales in the space and do hype the what it could be. But you got to start with the what it could be before you get to what it is.
well, I think we should take this opportunity to like see what it is right now and
Yeah,
spend a couple of minutes in a few different metaverses, but not, we're not going to go on a grand tour and everything, like
we'll
more
save
just
the
like,
grand tours for another day.
yeah, but we can do like some episodes where we're like kind of just focused on each one, but let's just like kind of pop into a couple. Um,
Apologies for the cat.
oh, all good, all good. I'm sure my dog will bark at some point
Oh yeah,
when the mailman
the
comes.
animals, the original in-game pets in real life.
We're gonna have to put a cat on your shelf with
Yeah, dude. Actually, yeah. That's my bio for the past 10 years has always included a lion, crazy cat man. So it's definitely part of the thing.
we'll rig up a puppet and have it connected to your cat, so whenever it meows or runs across, we'll see it in the background. And
Amazing. Let's definitely do that. We'll just tie a little like microphone to it.
so I brought up on cyber because I know that's your
Ah,
favorite.
I'm a fanboy.
That's your
That's for sure.
fanboy. We agree to disagree. We both love jumping in these spaces and exploring, but we are biased in our own way. We'll get into
Yes.
mine next,
Your
but
your spatial spaces bias.
a
Hey,
a
hey, maybe not. All right. Sorry, that was unkind, Canada. Uh, I love Canada. But anyway, so yeah, so on cyber is definitely my favorite metaverse like infrastructure. Because right now, people say the metaverse and think Reddit Player One, etc., which it is not right now, and it will be a very long time until it is like that. And so what it is there's a lot of different metaverse platforms, and obviously through the nature of tech companies and stuff, everyone wants to be the one. You got Facebook with Meta, who did the huge land grab of changing their name to Meta last fall to try and be like, we are going to be the metaverse. No, you're not. Um, but so on cyber is one of the many, and they have a really nice lightweight infrastructure. Um, so unless you overload it. It runs pretty well on most devices. It's mobile friendly, and the front end UI for how you sort of curate and design the space is pretty sharp. I've been playing a little bit more with like the actual back end of building spaces from scratch, but the front end is really intuitive right now, and the back end capability isn't really fully released yet. So this is I don't think I've seen this one actually.
Yeah, I just
So take us on a tour of this one. Was this just on the front page?
yeah, I just it looks like
Wow,
a
cool.
kind of a portal type. This
Yeah,
is a nice view. I wonder if they took this photo and used it as
yeah.
the environment because that's
You want to
awesome.
know how that works? So that is heard of HDRIs?
Yes.
Okay, so that's an HDRI. So you can make your own environmental backgrounds. There's a lot of free ones you can pull too, but kind of cooler to make your own. You can also build them in 3D. That's a really nice one. Like they often look kind of muddy because they're lower resolution. Wow, this game has platforms. Yo, this is rad.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, interesting. That was just on the front page. So that's the other thing too is
I had to switch to
right.
multiplayer so we can see.
Yeah, the Donye bot.
Oh, dead. Oh,
Oh, RIP.
oh no.
Flat. Now you're below the universe.
It popped me back up. That's
Yeah,
always good.
yeah. So when you fall off an on cyber, it just resets you to the like space after you reach a certain like beyond view distance. But yeah, I mean, people are. This is the exciting thing, right? So on cyber has been releasing features at a pretty steady clip this year. Multiplayer wasn't even available until I think this summer. But so starting out, there were just a couple of. I think there was like I mean, they've been adding them, over time, but there was just like 9 spaces to begin with, which are templates. So then they have the free ones, which anyone can use. And then they have like the paid ones, which you buy through the secondary market, or like the ones that minted, like, as part of their fundraising for the company. Um, and so those are just like the initial template spaces, all the same. But now they're starting to move to like custom publishing. So you're starting to see a lot more variance and like creativity in the ones. Oh, okay. So this is the one that I found in OM. So I was like, yo, I got to show you something I found. Uh,
Yeah, this feels like maybe it's
this was
Halloween
dope.
themed or, with the
Yeah, I
themes
don't know. I
coming.
walked through the first bit. I was like, we gotta save this for the stream. So you can get to this, or at least a version of this in OM right now, which is the Open Metaverse. They're very tied to On Cyber as they're one of the like initial like investors, and so they're building their own sort of vision of this like.
Ah, we lost you again. This is really cool. I haven't experienced this one. Oh, there's someone else in here. Even better. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, this will connect to your wallet and then you can upload it to kind of be your PFP in here, your little coin. Oh, wow, this just keeps going.
Technology is great until it stops working, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem with technology.
I
This
know,
is
right?
crazy.
I know, isn't this cool? I know. I only went through the first bit. I was like, oh, yeah. So you can get to this right now through the Open Metaverse, which is a bit of a hub world that's being built. It's very, very ambitious. But so I found this. It's like there was this one place when the first district launched, and let me do a tour of OM. I'll show you this, and we'll go there. But there was this place you could get to by jumping through. They have super jump enabled, and there was like this place that had a hole, and you couldn't fall through it at first. Like, didn't have the collision, but then eventually they hollowed it out so you could actually fall through. And then there were like these places that were unpopulated because they didn't have like portals yet, or for custom portals weren't set up yet. But now there's a portal to this space. So I found that I was like, what? What is this? I mean, just like the creativity and the artistry of this is amazing.
They built out this whole space.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
So you're gonna start seeing some really crazy things that you can experience now. I mean, that's the thing. Is like, it
Oh, it
just,
just keeps going.
dude, that's so cool. What? And like, who knows how many like secret like little things you can add. So with the tools now that are being like made available, just you or I, you know, I mean, it's like I've been learning this stuff. Just like I'm like, this looks cool. I want to figure out how to do it. So I've been figuring out how to do it, right? Building 3D environments, and then it's not that much of a leap from there to uploading them, and then like creating places that like you can go explore and create interesting audiovisual experiences, for your friends or communities, all this stuff, and even monetize if you so choose. Whoa, that's crazy.
This must be the end.
Yeah, fall into it. Get eaten.
Oh, starts
Nom
at the
nom 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 nom
beginning.
nom.
Oh, that's cool.
Yo, dude, that's so cool. Yeah, so just we're gonna start seeing like really the creativity, I think, of individual people unleashed in this era, which is what's really exciting to me. You don't have to wait. You can have a crazy idea, and you don't have to wait for like someone to approve it or say yes, okay, you can do this weird thing. You can just create weird stuff and put it out there for fun, and maybe it'll sell, maybe it won't, maybe you don't even monetize it. So that's my prime bullishness on this permissionless era that we're in now.
Well, as they say, if you build it, they will come. So
Yep.
I say build it.
Field of Dreams. This is OM as they know it, the museum district. This is where I first discovered On Cyber. So On Cyber was initially really just a gallery platform for like virtual galleries. Like you'd walk around and be a kind of basic looking room with some like NFTs on the wall. But this is what kind of made the metaverse click for me and be like, oh, this could be a whole thing. And then it started like it really also made NFTs click for me, thinking, well, you can place these in interesting ways, and you can make them actual game assets, kind of, right? I mean, these aren't really games yet. These are more virtual spaces that are like in sort of what would be like a pre-alpha internal like testing phase for a game company, right? But there's so many applications beyond games too, and art display is really, really one of the main ones. And it's fitting because the art communities are really the ones that are driving a lot of this tech forward. And like who has the ideas? Crazy artists, And so now crazy artists are kind of at the wheel. It's amazing.
Just giving them the tools to go out and be
Exactly.
crazy.
Yep. Crazy cat, man.
But I think we're gonna
Lemon
do
people.
probably a whole episode in here and just kind of explore this
Mm-hmm.
whole space and you know,
Yeah.
there's so
And
much in here. I'm just
yeah,
kind of
there's so much. I mean, there's we'll get into it more later, and I'd love to walk people through some of the back end of how it works, how you can actually build like front end curation and all these things, because there's just so much to like learn and surprisingly easy to do. And I think one of the most important things that I like to underscore about this platform, and so you'll see it's getting kind of choppy here because again, early tech, and it's just there's all these different portals here, so it's just a lot of load for the computer to process in the system. But the thing I like to drive home about On Cyber is that ideally, once they iron out some of like the tech hurdles, you don't need a crypto wallet to like view a space. Um, you don't have to buy anything. You can just literally go there on a computer browser in your phone, right? So that opens up a huge pathway for mainstream adoption to go and experience these spaces without having to jump through the various complex hoops of like getting to crypto wallet, etc. So it's a really good like potential onboarding tool for the masses.
I will say it's a beautiful view from up here.
The roof. The roof is the OM meme. We have the roof DAO. We have Ragni, which is roof are gonna make it. We have Ralpha, which is alpha from the roof, which is given by vomiting on the people below. That's my little addition to OM. But yeah, it's the architects that they have working on the space. I'm really curious like who they have designing the bulk of it, because it's really beautiful, kind of almost monochrome palette.
I wish the sun would set at a
Right.
certain time, because then you'd have
Well, you
like
know
people
what?
come in at like
Yeah,
6 o'clock for a meta sunset or something.
that's absolutely something that like the tech can eventually go to as well, because I mean I've figured out how to like you can kind of make the slow like you can kind of simulate atmosphere in different ways, and I know there are NFTs that can change based on the time of day and stuff, so I'm sure we'll see a lot of that kind of tech eventually integrated. But right now, spaces like this is
Oh, I
isn't
missed.
even on
Oh, did I
chain.
make it? I made it. Sorry.
Nice. Oh, you got the super jump. Watch. So sometimes you get these collision bounces, which put you into the atmosphere. So you get
Wow.
a good view of the space as a whole.
This is
Say hi to the sun.
the whole area. Oh, yeah. Hey, son.
GM, OM.
Oh man, I missed the roof. Darn. Oh, there I am. Oh, back at the beginning. Sweet.
Nice. Well,
Oh,
it's a good place to end the OM tour for now, eh?
yeah. No, that's cool. So
Shall we go up to your contender for favorite space
going to
metaverse?
my neck of the woods. So
Yep.
on cyber's cool. I like it. There's a lot of stuff being built. You know, there's a lot of pros, but
I had to convince Donye that on cyber is worthy, and he has convinced me that his favorite is worthy, which we're gonna do now.
so now we're gonna go into spatial. I think spatial's where it's at. Like, look at this. Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I was trending on the front page the other night, so
What? That's pretty
yeah,
dope,
we
dude.
had a lot of people popping in, and then of course, you're still gonna have the trolls coming in. Even
Oh yeah.
like I was playing around with this earlier, and I I found these spaces. So this is kind of cool. Like you can buy these mansions on like OpenSea. Look at that. Oh, I think I lost you again. He's speechless because he realized how cool this place was. I don't know. I'm a big fan. You can hop in here in VR, get your Oculus on, kind of see how that goes. But look at that. Oops.
I mean, I will say you're not wrong about being in awe. This is definitely really cool. I haven't really had a chance to check out spatial that much.
Look, I got a pool right here
Yeah, that's dope, dude.
that I cannot. I'm Jesus.
One thing I don't like about spatial, and I'm sure they'll, make this better, but like the character movement, the avatars really bugs me. It feels a little bit slow and clunky. I mean, it looks pretty good, right? But it's, I don't know, very, very, I guess it's very Sims like.
Well,
It's early.
it's early. Yeah.
No, this is cool, Dad. I definitely spatial is on my to-do list to check out and build. Ooh, can you go down there? There's something I saw that I want to see that looks.
I do like you can just double click and kind of go places if you can see
Uh,
it.
all right, so down on the next ledge below there, it looks like something I was just making, and I'm gonna be mad if it was. All right, right there. Okay, yeah, that's kind of.
Wait, the boat?
No, just the presentation of those is in something that I'm going to be unveiling tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, this is cool though. I need to build. I need to build.
But like, so on cyber allows you to implement and like bring stuff in, but with
Mhm.
spatial, the barrier of getting in is not, I don't want to say gated, but it's a lot easier to get stuff in.
Yeah. So for example, that's a really good point, right? I was actually just talking to Coy about this today. Basically, so for on cyber, it has to be either a minted asset, so it has to be an NFT, or it has to be a YouTube video. Um, and you can also add portals. And so they're adding some more stuff, but I think it's both a strength and a negative in some lights. Is that on cyber, it really does make every single NFT have utility, right? Because you can place it and like it becomes like an asset that you can use, like a game asset that you can decorate spaces with. But in spatial, you can like just add images and stuff, right? That's what I'm hearing.
You can, yeah, I can go up. So I built this gallery back in like January. back before a lot of people didn't even know what spatial was then. So it was kind of crazy to and so like I started my run in spatial. So that's kind of where I that's why I'm biased towards it, but let's say like all right, cool. I all of these are minted, right? So let's go to another space that I have.
Yeah.
You can
We've got
essentially just
March.
like let's see. So like, with the frame games, I'll throw stuff in here. So
Yeah, let's see that space that you put together for that first frame games, the question room.
like instead of minting out like clues and like spending a lot of money to, put art or just like clue words up, it's like, oh, I made this in Illustrator and then I
Yeah,
uploaded it and now here's an image and cool.
that's
Now,
definitely handy. It makes it so it's not just like NFT locked.
yeah, and then you don't have to worry about like I want to do this, but now I'm limited because I have to mint and spend gas to mint 20 assets,
Yeah, yeah, that's a compelling argument. I mean, because I really do see on cyber as being applicable to more than just gaming. I think it could really apply to a lot of different like industries, like professional business industries in a lot of ways. But
Well, here's
that
another case.
limitation of NFTs is a problem.
Here's another case for you. All right, I'm trying to curate my next collection and I want to do a 10-piece drop, but I have a 20 pieces that I want to choose from. I can bring it in here, see it visually on the wall, get a different perspective of it other than just, on my computer screen of like where I'm working at. I can token gate this and allow certain people to come in, previous collectors to come in and say, give me feedback, let them, have a voice in where I'm going, and then they can essentially help me choose. I can see, at the end of the day, I would make my choices, but you could see like what reactions you get from each pieces without minting it, without having it out there. You have a private, you know, exhibit or a pre-launch exhibit
Right.
to, reward. So
Yeah. Yeah. There. It's
yeah.
tricky because I do agree in some ways, and I think there's arguments to both, right? Because the whole debate around like tokenizing assets is really interesting, especially for artists. And um, in a way, these platforms like On Cyber and Deca, which are primarily driven by NFTs as the assets, like you can add some other like window dressing stuff around them, but for the most part, you really do either have to like build this space from the ground up and have that as like your 3D asset they're using for On Cyber, which then makes it kind of static, or you're bringing in NFT. So it really does give like some utility, which just makes more of an argument because it's basically like use driven, right? If people aren't using these things, if there aren't platforms shaped around using them, then it does make it a little bit more difficult for people, justify their very pricey JPEGs, which is a much longer conversation about what NFTs actually are, which is a pointer to something that you can change in or out. So that's a different conversation. But I guess the point is I agree to an extent. Which is actually, I think, why it's really important to go again back to the aspect of like decentralization, having different metaverse platforms. Like maybe this one is really good for this aspect, right? Like using like these assets that aren't minted and then mixing them with ones that are. But then maybe another platforms, good specifically like on cyber for really like NFT gallery art or other reasons where it's like, only locked to tokens. So I think it's important to realize there's not just one metaverse. There's not just going to be, Meta, Facebook, Zuckerberg owning everything, which he's trying to. 47.5%.
No. All right, now I can talk more about why spatial is better. So before he gets back. So a recent space I did, which was free by the way. This we did the launch party we talked about earlier here. This right here was free. The the entire environment was free. There was no cost. And one of my arguments against on cyber is that you can choose between like 4 or 5 different spaces that are pretty much square rooms with a very like the environments are pretty bland. You know, it's like here's a room with frames on it, and there are 8 frames, but you have 9 photos. Well, you got to buy a gallery that can fit a bigger collection. And here, I don't know how many frames I had here. And then at the end of the day, if I wanted to, I could just add more frames anywhere that I wanted to. Let's see, I put one somewhere. This place is pretty big.
All right,
Oh,
I'm
look,
back.
look,
So,
I just put a
is this
frame
one of the
there.
default spaces?
Yeah, this is a free space that they just released.
Wow.
Yeah, this like
And you can add as many frames as you want.
yeah, like see right there, just added a frame.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, well, tell us about the creator experience. So
Look
have
at
you built any
that,
custom spaces for spatial yet? Okay, that's pretty slick.
that easy.
So one thing I've been hearing about spatial, which definitely it has a one up on Cyber right now, is I heard that you can place like NFTs, like 3D objects in there, and then you can like lock on them, as in there are object collisions. Cyber doesn't have that yet. It's coming. They're working on it, but dynamic collisions is basically what's going to really, really help various metaverses scale, because it's basically becomes like a big Lego set, right?
Yeah,
So can you do that in spatial? Is what I've been hearing.
I haven't put any 3D assets in that I created.
Well, we're gonna have to try it. I might have to kick you some. All right, we're gonna have to have a spatial building day, snow day at some point, because I do need to check it out. I spatial and Mona are the two metaverses I'm most eager to try out after I get through some on cyber buildle pushes.
That was a great transition to Mona.
Mona.
I haven't
So this
even
is, I
been
guess,
through a
yeah.
space yet, like in here.
I've poked around a little bit. I've seen videos. It just looks really promising, and you can do a lot. And the avatar movement looks a lot better than spatial. It has more of a video game vibe. I believe it's built on Unreal Engine. So I guess I'm team on cyber. You're team spatial, and this is team maybe both of us.
Yeah, because we're sticking to our guns on the other, so maybe we can agree on this. But how do I
Yeah.
like go into someone else's space? Is what I've like.
Can you not just like click on one?
I guess I just do enter. And there we go. Boom. That easy.
Bam, bam, bam. So that's another huge point about metaverse tech, right? You're not downloading video games like you would on everything else, or like some client that needs a patch for like 5 hours will downloads like 5 gigabytes, megabytes, wrong decade. You just hop in there in your browser, and that's also partially why a lot of these are less polished tech, because it's literally just like operating from your browser, on whatever device you're using. So cut them some slack. But yeah, this looks pretty good for
And then it has the Ready Player Me integrated into this too.
this does too. Okay, so that's another big point, right? So OnCyber does not have avatars yet. They're working on them. I think they're coming soon. I kind of hope, Donye, we were talking about this earlier off stream, I'm grumpy old man yelling at clouds over here. Ready Player Me is everywhere. So that's good for like, Ready Player One vision that everyone has of this interoperability, but it's bad for centralization, right? Because if just one company is like creating all of the like metaverse like avatars that are being integrated into things, that kind of stifles innovation, because then you have to work within that framework, and then we're back to Web 2 problems.
Well, I'll bring pros and cons,
Yes, exactly. There's pros and cons. I mean, great for adoption, great for like scaling, but it, I personally would like to see some more avatar platform options out there. So I'm hoping On Cyber goes a different direction.
And I'm
I think they
sure
will.
that will come. Like, I think right now, like, Ready Player Me is just kind of
Yeah,
there.
it's
It's
there.
easy to use. It's a very easy user experience, and then you can just log in and just jump from place to place. So
Totally.
it's
It's just fair.
it's better than a little circle with your photo on it.
See, I'm a little bit partial. I mean, it might just be nostalgia, but eh, I'll go into my pitch for why I think the disc PFPs are great, and we're gonna miss them once they're replaced by people's. So here's the 5-second version. It's basically a walking shill. Whatever art that you recently minted that's yours, or whatever project that you want to like pump your bags. We don't pump bags. Come on, SSE. But like you're a walking billboard. You are the art. That's why I love the discs on Cyber. You're just these little like 2D discs. Then you choose one of the NFTs you own in your wallet. It's kind of cool. But yeah, they'll have people's avatars soon. That's all. That's the obvious next step.
So my collection or my question is like, is Mona like a marketplace?
Oh, I don't know. It's filed under things I need to check out. So that's the other thing too, right? Is another obvious next step is we don't have that many like metaverse centric platforms. Like we have OpenSea and stuff, and you can
It
sell like
is. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
intro. No, I mean that's big, and that's the thing is like so. I'm hoping that I think OnCyber is going to release the marketplace soon. They're working on minting capability, various questions asking when equals soon, TM or soon. So it just makes sense for these metaverse platforms to also be marketplaces, because then creators can come and build cool stuff, and then they can make money for building cool stuff because people are like, I want to own that. I want to put my own JPEGs in that space. It just makes sense. Like it really is going to be,
But
in my opinion,
I can walk around in here and
an industry. Yeah,
see
dance.
it and say, hey, this is cool,
Exactly.
and then buy it instead of like
Exactly.
seeing it.
Yeah, it does seem like a preview.
Like you can't like jump in there and walk around and see like on OpenSea or
Yeah, no, exactly. That's so these different metaverse platforms also having their own marketplaces, I do think is kind of the next really clear wave that's coming. And then we'll also
Dude,
have
this
like
is
metaverse centric
insane. All right,
marketplaces.
This is my favorite
Yeah,
one.
that's what I was saying. Is Mona, like we both got to check out, because the kind of stuff that yeah, you can build some pretty great stuff. And so part of the reason for this is I believe it's built on like Unreal Engine. I think Spatial is built on Unity, right? I don't know, I'm getting it wrong, but basically they're built on
No,
like
Mona's built on Unity because I downloaded Unity.
okay, Mona's Unity. Okay, I was hearing it was Unreal. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, so they're built on like this more game-oriented technology, right? Whereas OnCyber is all very much like meant to be more stripped down. Like one on cyberspace is just a single GLB file, which is like the JPEG of 3D files. And then it interacts with their infrastructure, and then you can add other NFTs through the front end. So it has less bells and whistles currently than like these other platforms that are built on like more traditional game engines. But it also means that it's better for decentralization. 6529, who is spearheading OM, he did a really interesting podcast with G Money like some months back, talking about his vision of the metaverse and why OnCyber was kind of the one that they chose to like go ham on investing on. And that's because it's like.
Oh, we lost you again. Damn it. All right, so I guess to like just kind of move forward a little bit and start to wrap up the thing, I wanted to go into one more metaverse. We've talked about galleries so far, and just experiencing Mona, like I want to dig into that. I'm probably gonna be up late tonight playing around with Mona, but I have one more. Do you wanna check this out with me, Weary?
Let's do it. What are we looking at?
We're looking at the
What's the
World
mystery
Wide Web
metaverse?
3.
Oh yeah. Okay, you've been telling me about this one, and I am curious.
So this one's more of a game, and it has that MMO vibe feel. And right now, it's token gated, and for some reason, like they don't want.
Very
From my
close,
under,
bro.
what's that?
Where's your
I'm just
clothes?
naked.
Man, that is a bold style choice. This is dope. Chain City. Sorry, I cut you off.
Now my dog started barking, so just give me 1 second. I think the mailman's here.
Dog. Man, yeah. So it's interesting that the whole it kind of like, so again, going back to the concept of like the original MMOs being the original metaverses. Ultima Online was the game that all my friends were playing back when in the dial-up days, and we were talking about things like shards, which I had no idea what a shard was, which was a different instance of like a space. That terminology is kind of making a comeback. So it's interesting to see that kind of sort of like '90s style of metaverse coming back, but being like a actual metaverse. I do need to check this one out.
Yeah, so I ended up buying an apartment um not too long ago. They're fairly decent price. They kind of chop around.
Is this on ETH or what chain?
Yeah, this is ETH.
Nice.
And so hang on
So you have to own an apartment to.
to get in right now. So
Okay.
I have a larva lad.
Oh, nice.
Now I'm a larva lad.
Amazing. Okay, that's cool.
And
So
then
they've partnered with a couple of collections, or are those user made?
so this is kind of like any project can create their own like sprite sheet and get it implemented into the game.
Nice.
So then I'll read your wallet and see what you have.
That's
And
cool.
like here's my crypto monk that's like just chilling.
So it gives, yeah, that's awesome. It gives projects an incentive to put that together for their community, and then they can just go explore those in their PFPs. That's neat.
And I think
So what
that
can you do in this one? You said it's more like a game.
yeah, this is my favorite thing to do right here. Is play I think it's called Rug Busters.
Rug busters. Nice. For those unfamiliar, rugs in the space are a terrifying term, which means the team said they were gonna make you lots of monies and build all the things, and then they just like kind of vanish with the money.
So it's basically trying to think of how to describe this.
Is it a roguelike?
It's you just it's
Loot
not a role
ticket.
play, it's like an arcade game kind of.
It
And
looks
then
kind of like a roguelike. So is it like you get like different power ups as you go, and then you die, and you see how far you can get?
yeah, so as you collect the
Uh,
coins, you can you
uh,
get you level up. So
oh no, Donye. My favorite like video game genre that I still enjoy playing is roguelikes, especially like this kind of like indie ones. Oh dear, I'm gonna have to.
so
He just accidentally shielded me.
what I do is I'll hook up my controller, my Xbox controller,
Oh, nice.
and then
And
I
better
can have better control,
have
over this.
control with the controller, like a chat in the chat room.
But like trying to
We need like an audience laughter like button to press when I say something really dumb.
yeah, I need to get I need
We'll
to get a
get a
soundboard.
soundboard.
I'm not anti soundboard.
Yeah, this is pretty rad.
Yeah, so like, you know, I don't know.
Can you get stuff like the loot? It said use a loot ticket. What is does that give you like a chance to like walk out with something?
So you get like prizes at the end, and then you can craft new weapons and power ups. But you have to like get to the graveyard to do that, and you gotta have certain. But the graveyard, you gotta play another game which is similar to this, but it's more linear, and it's super hard. Like I can't beat it. I almost
Wow.
beat it once, but like, there's still
You probably
bugs.
gotta like grind, right? Though, like to get stronger over time or something.
Yeah, and then you'll get like higher multipliers
Gotta have those dangling carrots.
and so like and then like the high score each week, like the highest score of the week, like they win something like from the team. And then like each day the scoreboard resets and you can see like who's like I got in
That's
first
awesome.
place or I was in first because if you play at like midnight Pacific time or something, or maybe it's like somewhere around there, you can kind of jump in there and get
The next day, head start.
get your name on there before somebody comes in with like I think my high score was like 3 million, but people are putting up like 5 million every day, five,
Nice.
8, and
Oh yeah.
they have all those multipliers and stuff too, so
Yep. Yep. That's how it be.
it gets
Um,
insane too. Like
how? I'm just gonna get OpenSea Chrome later to check this out. This is bad. Question. Do you have to have a PFP collection to like get your like little sprite sheet character in there?
yeah, I'm trying to get the Dinkbots to get one so they can
Yeah.
because I want to be
And
my
you could help
Dinkbot.
make it for them, right?
Yeah, it's just a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Just kidding. Make them do it. It's their job.
Yeah, if if I got paid for it, I'd do it. But
Well, I mean, you are the Dankbot mascot now, so you're gonna have to watch this and be like, damn,
no,
bro, we
I
should
love
make
the
those.
Dinkbots, and then
They seem really cool. We'll have to do a little segment on that at some point.
yeah,
But NFA always. Have we done our little NFA segment? Not financial advice, all those things we gotta say because tokens, etc. So this is cultural advice, not financial advice, friends.
this is just our
Just said it
observation of the space and
exactly. We're
what
not
we
trying to show
think.
anyone. Literally, like don't do stupid things with your money. Like, but at the same time, do explore what's here because there's a lot that is actually really worth your time, in my opinion. Again, cultural advice.
I'm surprised you haven't seen this yet.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? And that's kind of what I'm excited about. This is we got to highlight things that neither you or I nor a lot of people have seen, because there is just so much in this.
No, not again. I know, like we were talking about metaverses, and then I was like, I was kind of stuck in the gallery mindset for some reason. I don't know why, but you know, all of this is the metaverse. There is no one metaverse, so I'm like, you know what? Let's throw a fun one in there. Like the other ones are cool and fun, but like this one is my favorite. This is better than all of them. And you have your apartment that you can upgrade and change and add items to it and have people over, and which I'm gonna try to do some events with in the frame games. Once they open up publicly, which will be at some point or another. But yeah, no, it's a very cool space, changing, evolving, a lot going on. Are you back yet? Here he comes. I see.
Myself again because my headset died for the sixth time. If you're counting, we'll get it sorted next time. Or you can cool debts.
All good.
Hans is gonna die. 2 minutes.
But yeah, I think we covered some
Yeah.
different areas and different aspects and different opinions on different places, but
Duh.
at the end of the day, World Wide Web 3 is probably my favorite.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check that out and see if I'm too broke to join or not.
You can also go fishing.
Ooh, I've always loved fishing in games. It probably goes back to Zelda 64,
So
Ocarina of Time.
it gives you that like vibe, like that Harvest Moon type,
Oh, Harvest Moon fishing. Yeah,
or
no.
and then the seeing other people walk around and having, I think they're trying, and then they partnered with GameStop NFT a month or two
Oh,
ago.
interesting. I'm
So
gonna check that out for a bit.
yeah, it's awesome. But
Nice.
we just hit the hour mark, and I think before we ramble on and
Yeah, which we can do, but
oh yeah, I gotta do some stuff.
we got to do some stuff. But quick question: Did you remember hit record this time, or how
Well,
does that work?
no. So last time I did record it, but for Twitch, they just now started like where they don't automatically save your episodes. So you have to go
Gotcha.
in
Got to
your
do it at the end.
settings and then it will save it for 14 days.
Ah,
But, now I can just go download that. I can go in and like make some shorts and cut it up. You can go in and find some shorts and cut
nice.
it up and then we can share
Yeah,
it on like
YouTube, and then we can throw it in the metaverse and on cyber metaverse and create the chat room metaverse. It's
yeah.
gonna happen. It's
I'm
gonna be a
I'm
thing.
I'm already building out the room verse.
Oh yeah, same. Well, I mean, never
It
mind.
would be cool if there
Ralpha.
was a portal to like go from one to the other, but
Right. Well, true interoperability may one day be here. In the meantime, we build.
you need competition though, and you need
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There can't just be one. So like we're not always gonna agree on things on here. You're gonna find. We're gonna do the little devil's advocate thingy, and I'm gonna say some unpopular things that a lot of people may hate, and vice versa. And that's just how it is. You gotta have different opinions, or else have innovation. You just have everything looks like a soccer board back there. So bland, so smiley, so terrifying.
beautiful. I think he's in Paris. Yeah, wait till we start
Or
name.
beautiful.
Wait
See?
till we start name dropping. That's when it'll get fun.
Oh boy. Watch out.
Better not.
We'll be nice, don't worry. Ish. I'm
Yeah.
not the angry Luddite anymore. I'm the weird Luddite. I'm tired. I just really need a nap.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go take a nap now.
Speaking of. All right. Well, I guess this is the chat room slash exit. How did we used to leave chat rooms back in the day?
You'd say rents over shoulder, G2G, TTYL. See you at school tomorrow. I don't know. I'm thinking of AIM more.
I know, dude. The little ding. We should get a soundboard that has the AL chat room sounds for nostalgia.
Yeah, that'd be.
Whenever someone chats, ding.
We need to have Now they can just video call and we'll put them on the screen in the back.
Yeah. Yep.
If we have like somebody come in, we can
Yep.
do that. But
We'll have guests and things.
yeah, it's free form, no set, nothing. So yeah, no.
It's gonna get weird.
Oh God, like once we run out of things to talk about and start just like talking. Yeah, see, it's already getting weird. Look at that. It's not right.
All right.
But
This is
yeah,
the chat room.
thanks for stopping by the chat room, a room where we chat.
Chat later, friends. GN.
GM and GN.
And GN. It's always GN.